I guess our trip up to the top starts out like a whole lot of others. You know, the first night we found ourselves camped in a place that we couldn't even see during the night. We set up late because we've been driving all day. It was up near Lake Wonga. Next morning we woke up and there we were in the basin, but that's all right. We were pretty comfortable there. The boys slept in their swags, of course, and Karen and I had the XT tent, which was pretty comfortable. Gareth ate all the breakfast. That turned out to be the pattern for the rest of the trip. And here's the guys packing up their swags. I did another check on all the wheel nuts. Now, you know, we're not even near a corrugated road yet, and I'm checking things. By the time we got to Rocky, I've dropped into opposite lock, see my mate Paul Kane, because I wanted the suspension checked over too. Could have done this myself, but hey, they supplied it. They can do the numbers on it. And I was pretty impressed with the service too. That worked out well. By the time we got further north, you know, I decided just for once I'd better do something important. So while I checked out the fridge, Karen got into setting up the camper. I tell you what, you reckon there's probably 50 kilos in a spare wheel, but the way they had this set up, it just kind of flopped out there. So no dramas at all. Very easy to set up. It made camping pretty easy. By this stage, I think when we set up this camp, we were just a bit north of Cairns on the coast. I like to drive straight through Cairns, but our destination on this particular trip took us up the Bloomfield track, and here we are. We've gone over the ferry. I reckon a lot of you will recognise that view. And just after that, you're actually on the track. It's always a good time to pull over at one of those little pullovers on the right-hand side and duck down and have a look at the beach. These beaches up here, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be on your own, and it's just an amazing feeling. When the tide's out, the beach goes for miles and miles and miles, and there's so much stuff to see. You wouldn't think so, you know, like you think it's a bit of a wilderness, but by crikey, the place is just alive. I don't know what Tom's doing there, having some fun by the look of it. There was about 50 million crabs on that beach, and they were amazing. And of course, there's so much driving involved. The Bloomfield was pretty rough. Come to expect that lately. It's getting a lot of traffic, and a lot of that straight to the Lion's Den. But hey, we tracked along, no problems at all. I was, you know, as I said, pretty impressed with that suspension, and things were going all right. And of course, there was roadworks up the Bloomfield too. Cape's got so popular that you kind of expect to find roadworks all over the place, even though some of the roads are still really rough. Anyway, before long, there we are crossing the river, and you know you're getting up there. By the time you've crossed a few creeks and whatnot, it's starting to feel like a Cape trip. I love this particular sensation, I really do. Now, there's still a few free camping sites around the Bloomfield track, but like everywhere else, they're getting hard to find. You kind of got to know what you're looking for. But I tell you one amazing thing. Our first big glimpse of the Bloomfield, and guess what we saw? Absolutely amazing. You've got to be real lucky to see a croc as big as this guy. And Gareth reckoned he was just some blow-up job, you know, on the side of the road there. But we looked at him long enough to try and see if he'd move. But oh no, he wasn't going to. Now, we camped another night up there, and then we shot through all the way to Ellen Beach. Ellen Beach, my mate Eddie's got a fishing camp up there on the Aboriginal land, just out from Hopevale. It's a beautiful place, and I wanted to spend a couple of days here. Gio's into the fishing, and that's exactly what we did. And do you know what? I'll tell you what, this was a great way to start our particular Cape trip. And watch out for part 3, because by then I get us bogged. See ya.